So we got a new snapshot, and it has the player locator bar, but it can be used for more than just locating players. As you can see, I have a bunch of these frogs, and they're all appearing on the player locator bar at the bottom of the screen. And I'm going to be showing you how you can actually use this and do this. So you can make pretty much any entity appear on the locator bar. You can change the colors of the indicators and a few other things. But if you don't know what the player locator bar actually is, it's a new feature in the newest snapshot that allows you can see where players are with this on the bottom of the screen. It normally only works with players. Every other entity won't appear on it at all. You can actually change that if you want. And anything can be on there pretty much. Well, not quite. I guess, if I throw down items, well, it's kind of hard to tell, but as you can see, if I turn around, then the frogs won't appear. It doesn't work on items. I don't really know. I think it's like anything that can have an attribute you could do it with. So as you can see, every time I add an entity, I've set it up to where every entity I spawn, it will appear on the locator bar. This isn't normal. Normally, entities one will just be players, but I've set it up so that every entity will appear. So the way I've set this up is with these 3 command blocks. I think you're really supposed to only need 1, but I think it's a little bit broken in this snapshot. So you need 2, and I have a 3rd one just because I wanted to. Basically, every entity, it will attribute itself the waypoint transmit range attribute, and it'll set it to 60 million. So this is what players normally have. Normally, entities of mobs and stuff, which don't appear on the player locator bar, they're normally, this attribute is 0, and that just means that they will never appear on the player locator bar. But if you set the attribute, they will actually appear on the player locator bar. If I set my own attribute at S, there's another one that's receive range. I could set that to 10, and then as you can see, I'm not getting anything, but if I get close to one of these frogs, then it appears. So this is, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this, and stuff like this has probably technically been possible with commands and stuff. Like you could maybe use a boss bar or something. I don't really know how you do it, but there's probably ways you could technically do this or something similar to this. But it's nice to have this automatic. You would have to do a bunch of manual math and stuff, like figuring out which way the player's facing, and then you use raycasts. I don't know what you would do to figure out where another entity is relative to the player, and then you'd have to render it. I don't know how you do that. This is just really nice to be able to automatically have it available. You could just easily set it up. You literally run one command and it'll set that entity up to be visible for all players. So it's really easy. Set 0. Yeah, okay. I actually don't know what okay, so it's 60 million is the default for the receiving range as well. If you watch the bottom bar, it actually looks kind of interesting. If you look at it like this, you get these, the mobs one at a time, you go through the bottom of the screen. Of course, if you're far enough away, they move really slow because they're further away, so they move slow on screen. If I increase the tick rate, then they can move really fast. So this is kind of cool. If you just watch the bar, you can see them all moving. Depending on how you look at it, you get a different effect. So if I'm in the middle, you can see them all going around. You find the middle and then look straight. So yeah, they get fast in the middle and then slow down at the edges. But if you look at a 45-degree angle, then they start fast and they slow down in the middle. So yeah, that's just because of how it works. When you're looking at a square, if you're looking at it straight on, you're really close to the middle, but you're further away from the corners. But if you're looking at the corners, now you're still further away from the corners, meaning that things will move slower. I don't know. It's a little bit, I don't know if it's really easy to understand without really seeing it, but I guess you kind of can see it, but anyway, this stone structures, I was testing fill commands. You can look at it like this, and then you get everything moves slow and then everything moves fast when they're close to you. If you look at it this way, you can see the 4, the 4 it kind of makes a quadrilateral, but it's one-dimensional, so it's really weird. You can kind of see the 4 paths that they're taking, the 4 lines that they're moving along. If you just watch one of them, maybe watch that kind of aqua turquoise one, it's in the front. It's moving right now it's moving left. You can see how it it moves really fast, and then it's moving, and then it gets faster, and then it's slower, and then it's moving all the way across the screen, and then it's slow, fast. So the reason it's fast, like it's fast when it goes across the like right now, but then it also gets a little bit faster right now, and then it's stopped. And that's because, you know, it's moving across the diagonal thing. Well, they're not diagonal. They look kind of diagonal when you feel it like this, but when they're going along this one, they're moving slower, but then they're actually moving this way, and then it looks faster. It's kind of interesting, you know, to see what that really looks like. You know, you can't really tell like exactly what's going on in 3D space, but it is pretty cool. You can kind of see, you know, it makes like almost like a shape or a path that they take. And yeah, I mean, it kind of matches, you know, what you would see if you could see through this stone block. But yeah, there's also, you know, like when you look up or down, they tell you like that they're up or down depending on like if they're outside of your range or not. Also, I guess I'll just stick with a frog. So I don't know why are you moving like that? Oh, that's right. My tick rate's 200. So yeah, obviously it's a little bit annoying having to do the tick rate, but as you can see, like when like even though it's clearly on screen, it doesn't appear on the bar, but if I move back a little bit more, yeah, now it appears on screen. So it's kind of funny when you look down, but if you're looking straight, it makes sense. Probably hard to notice, but they are rendered like the ones that's closest to you appear in front. So if I put one here, this one's like a yellow color. If I put this one, as you can see, it's like a purple. So like if I'm viewing them like this, the purple one clearly renders in front of the yellow. Obviously when they're not overlapping, you can't tell, but if they are overlapping, obviously the purple one is rendering in front of the yellow one. But if I go this side, now the yellow one renders in front of the purple one. So you can tell that's how it works. And, you know, it makes sense. That's what you'd expect. And it actually probably helps to really see the like 3D-ness and everything that's going on here. I'm not sure if if the orders were random, I'm not really even sure probably wouldn't be that different. So to actually get, you know, mobs, regular like non-player mobs to have this, you know, to appear on the player locator bar, you're going to need to use like commands. I don't think you should need all three of these, but you need at least two, and I have three, but I'm just going to turn these off right now. So with nothing running, if you spawn new entities, as you can see, absolutely nothing. As you can see, the player locator bar doesn't even appear like at all, because I've removed the frogs for now so that I can show you how to set this up. But yeah, as you can see, there's like nothing appears like at all. So what you have to do is /attribute the entity that you want to do it, however you want to select it. You can use a selector, you can put in the UUID, whatever you want. You have to set its waypoint transmit range attribute base set. You have to set it to something that isn't 0. If I set it to like 1, as you can see, nothing happens unless I'm really close to it, and then it's gone. For players, it's set to 60 million. So that's the default for players, but of course not for other entities. But if I do this now, as you can see, they do appear, and this basically appears just like a player would. If this was a player, this is pretty much exactly what it would look like. If you get too far away, it would start to fade and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how you actually do it. This is what you need to run. Of course, if you run it for each one, you know, you get, yeah, now they're all three of them are there. You can change the color. I'm going to get into that later, but so the first thing I tried was, or to, you know, automate it, was just this command. So this, well, it was basically this command. It was like every entity, I would try to constantly set that attribute. And as you can see, it worked. Like now we have like a lot of these. We have all 7, but it's, you know, but it's not really, you know, like, I mean, it works. It just, if I put new ones in, they don't appear. I was confused by this, but I think it's actually a bug. So for some reason, when this command is run as soon as like the entity exists, like it just doesn't like to make it a waypoint like on the first tick it exists or something. So you have to like not do it yet, but then give every entity a tag, and then the next tick it would do it. It's kind of weird, but you only need 2 command blocks. So if I just make this like tag @E, add W for waypoint, because that's what these are called. And then if I do @E tag equals not W, then it will add the thing. So, oh, no, that's the wrong one. No, only the ones with the tag. So Now, as you can see, it waits a tick before doing it because it first runs this command, then this one. So every tick, it'll run this command and, say, oh, nothing has the tag of W yet, so I won't do anything, even if there's a new entity. But then it will add the tag to all entities, and then it'll say, oh, there is a entity, and the next tick it'll say, oh, there's an entity with that tag, so then I'll set the attribute. So like the first tick the entity exists, this command won't run for it, but then this one, it will add the tag, and then the next tick, it'll say, oh, it does have the tag, and then it'll set the attribute. So it's a kind of a weird way to do it, but it works. So yeah, but anyway, I know it doesn't really make sense to track mobs going around a square in minecarts. It doesn't really always have to be trying to exist to locate an entity. It could just be to have some cool like effect at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to try to do that here. Okay, so I've set up this teleport area, and it should, yeah, so as you can see, they move. And then if I look at it like this, they appear on the bar, then they'll teleport back. So I'll make this a bit faster. As you can see, maybe a little bit faster. Let's go 80. So as you can see, they move, and when they're, I don't know, they act a little bit like glitchy, like they keep bouncing back or something. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of weird, but you can see how they move. Maybe let's go a little bit faster. Maybe go 120 or something. Yeah, I don't know. They have these weird, like, they're like teleporting. I don't know how well you can see. You can probably see it pretty well. I don't know why it happens, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be fixed. I don't really know. But yeah, you can see how they start out moving pretty fast, and then they get slow towards the end. It does look a bit weird, though. I mean, if I get closer, maybe it'll kind of cut off the... Yeah, I guess this kind of helps. I don't know. It's still glitching, but you can still see that they move and they kind of get slower the further away they are, because that's how 3D works, I guess. So you can set the color with the waypoint command. So you can list all the waypoints. So you can see I'm a waypoint, but I don't appear to myself. And there's also the 2 armor stands. Click to teleport. Ooh, that's pretty cool. You can teleport to the waypoint. Oh, wait, are waypoints like aligned to a grid or something? Wait, that doesn't make any... Why do I teleport? Oh, right, because it's part of the chat map. That's where I was. Yeah, I don't really know, but anyway, you can set the color. If you don't list, you can modify an entity. You can change how they fade. Like if I get super far away. Okay, let me add this. So this white one, those will disappear soon, but the white one fades a little bit when you get too far away. And that happens with players too, but you can change how it fades, like how faded it looks, and when it starts to fade, you can change things like that. But I'm going to show you the color, so you can modify you could also reset that fade, but you can set the color here. So I could, you can pick a specific color, and obviously the one in the middle of the screen is the one that I'm facing, and it's changing color on the player locator bar. If you want, you can use a hex, so it can be your own color. You could do like, I don't know, 888888 is as mid gray, I guess. You could do like, because I don't know, you can do whatever color you want. I guess I could do you can do it this way, which is the same as just red, because it's like less precision for your color if you want to only use one character per color channel. But anyway, I'm just gonna leave it solid red, and this one maybe I'll do like light blue or something for this one. And then you see now we have a blue and red one, and yeah, I can turn this back on. As you can see, they keep moving. I kind of wish they didn't glitch like that. I don't know why that happens. Maybe it might get fixed, maybe not. I mean, I guess I am changing the tick rate. On a normal tick rate, I don't even think it worked better on a normal tick rate, though. Even when I was moving them more each tick, it would still break a bit. I don't know. I guess I can try that. Let me set these to moving a whole block each tick. Okay, so let me push this button again. So it should work now. So this is moving them more each tick. And yeah, that kind of like that teleporting like back and jittering stuff, I think that's been fixed, but they still don't update as frequently as I'd like. I think they're only updating every tick, which is 20 times per second, which is kind of low. If I change the tick rate, it does get smoother, but then you get that weird like teleporting back and jittering stuff. So it's kind of annoying, but I guess it still works like this, even though it's a little bit slow. And they're still jittering a little bit. I don't know why that happens, but okay, if I like time it right, and then I can put another, say I get that red one, I can add another red one here, and another blue one here, so this adds like another one. And then if I push I guess I'll push the button, and then turn this on. As you can see, we get 2 of them going. Oh, are they? Oh, they're okay. They're still in sync. Yeah. So now you can see on the bar again. It's jittering, and it's pretty annoying. But you can still create these, I guess, effects or whatever you'd want to call them. You could even change the colors. Like, okay, let me turn this off so I can access them. You could change these to be kind of like less bright. So let me go, this is supposed to be, okay, let me go 8000 for you. Yeah, okay. And then 088 for you. And now as you can see, they're dimmer. So when I turn it back on, yeah, it's like they're kind of like falling behind, I guess. I mean, it doesn't quite look like that. I don't know, but I think it would look better if they were closer together now. So if I have to, I could get one of these piston things, oh, that doesn't work. I guess I have to do something like this. And then this is kind of take a while. Okay, let's see how this looks. So I think they're closer together now. Yeah, it helps a bit. Although actually it's kind of annoying because those dimmer ones, they render in front of the brighter ones since they're technically closer. It's kind of annoying. I kind of wanted those to be like, look like they were background ones. I don't know. So yeah, you can kind of see what I was doing. It looks like they have a trail. When they're moving quickly, you can see that they're like a bright red one, and then there's a dark red one following behind. It doesn't quite look right. And if you do it the other way, now they start slow and they get fast when they, I don't know, what isn't that? Oh yeah, it's just kind of going backwards. Hey, actually that's not bad. This looks pretty cool because now they're actually rendering, like the bright ones are actually now in front like they're supposed to be. So this looks kind of cool. Yeah. So there's a lot you can do. Of course, it doesn't have to be just like an X like this or whatever. If you did something like this, I don't know, this doesn't really make sense. Now there's just blue ones in the middle. But yeah, I don't know. So it doesn't have to be like an X like this. You can kind of do any shape you want. I just did this, and you can see, even though it's completely like flat, like it's just like straight lines, when you view it like this, they start like moving fast and then they get slower because they get further away. Like it actually creates these like different speeds, even though, you think, oh, it's not going to be any different speed. They're just going to move, from 2 points, like, linearly. But like, that's not what happens. You can see these, like they move, but then they get slower as they keep going because they're getting further away. So it creates kind of an interesting effect. Not sure what this would look like. Oh yeah, the red one gets closer and then the blue one gets further away. I don't know. When they're all in the middle, it looks just kind of like a mess. You can't really tell what's going on when they're all in the middle. But the sides, it kind of looks interesting, I guess. Yeah, how it's like when at the start, when everything starts at the right, the blue ones are moving fast and they come from far off the right, but then by the end, the red ones are moving fast, going far off to the left, and the blue ones are slow. So it's kind of interesting. You can create cool things. Yeah, and again, you can do more than this. You don't have to make this like X or plus shape. You could do all things, kind of things. I mean, this was a square before with the frogs and minecarts. There's other things in the snapshot. The happy ghast. There's some other commands like version commands if you wanted to. F3V, you get a client version. Anyway, yeah, I think there's a few other things that I think there's a new attribute or something. I mean, I know the ones I already, wasn't there another one or something? Oh yeah, there's that, like, what's it called? The camera distance? Yeah, you can set the camera distance. So I set this to like Yeah, now as you can see, I'm fall far away. Oh yeah, it looks kind of weird, but it's technically limited to 32. But yeah, as you can see now, the camera is all far away. Looks weird, and even like the chunk borders, you can see the chunk I'm in. And if I change my scale, I can actually, like, it gets even further away. Now this chunk looks tiny. If I go all the way sized up, you know, you can see the whole chunk and everything. The chunks have to literally load in, it looks like. It's kind of weird. Oh, well, okay, they don't have to load in, like, they just have to render in, I think. I don't think it's like they're literally unloading, because if that was the case, I wouldn't even be standing on anything right now. Of course, you can lower your field of view, and then everything becomes like this. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I've never really seen the game like this before, you know. I don't know. Anyway. Or you could, you know, have it like in you, and now there's pretty much no third person at all. It's just you can see yourself, you know. It's kind of weird. Or it can be super close to you. Looks like there's blocks blocking my view, but there aren't any blocks. It's kind of weird. Anyway. Yeah, reset. Okay, that's all though. I don't think I'm going to go through everything in this snapshot. It was just the player locator bar stuff. And yeah, again, you can do more than this. If you want to know the commands, right, I have, like, for all basically, I guess, nearby entities, if the block below them is magenta glazed terracotta facing north, then it teleports itself positive Z direction. Alright, still, wait, this is, oh, I didn't type that one right, oops. And this is supposed to be 1. I don't know. I'm having it at 1 right now. I guess I wasn't using any north-facing lens. But anyway, if it's south, it'll go the opposite way. If it's west, it'll go positive X. If it's east, it'll go negative X. And then for, like, black concrete, I teleport it 3 blocks below the minecart there. And if it's white concrete, 3 blocks below that minecart. That's just the commands I have, you know, so that they'll loop and they won't just, like, they would just fall. Or I would have to use more terracotta to make them go back, but then it would be super slow. So I'd say armor stands. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe area effect clouds. I don't know. I've never used those really. Ooh. Oh, no, it wasn't working. No, okay. They don't even work. Yeah, so I guess armor stands are probably the best for this. Because unless you wanted to use like an actual living entity, like a zombie or something. I mean, because you could, but if you wanted to do something like this where you wouldn't really see the entities, it's just for like an effect at the bottom of the screen, then yeah, I don't know, you'd probably use armor stands. They should be able to be invisible. Like I could like, you know, data modify it or merge. I was like invisible 1 marker 1, and yeah, it still appears. Like you can have something that basically isn't there, but it appears. So that's probably the best to do, is an invisible marker armor stand, if you wanted it to be like something that you couldn't actually see, but you still want it to appear on the player locator bar. But of course, you also have to set the attribute, because I have those commands running that are giving new entities that attribute. And again, if it's a bit broken in the snapshot, you can't run it on like the first tick that the entity exists. But other than that, yeah, as you can see, it just like it doesn't work. But then I turn it on, and then you set the attribute, then it works. But yeah, so yeah, not that much. You know, it's pretty simple. But you can still do a lot with it. So that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to catch every single video, don't forget to click the bell. And that's about it. Hope you enjoyed.